Hey guys, DYLIEDOG here. Now in today's video we're going to be doing an Apex Legends Season 17 Heirloom tier list. Now this will of course include the Horizon Heirloom coming to the game in 2 days from now, so I know a lot of you guys are excited about that. We actually are doing a massive giveaway on the main channel right now for the Horizon Heirloom, and all you have to do is like, comment and subscribe to get involved. So make sure to do that right now guys if you haven't already. But today we will be doing this Heirloom tier list. And first off, we will be doing the Horizon Heirloom. Now, I know we haven't seen a lot about the Horizon Heirloom so far, other than the fact it's like a mace of some sort with the black hole and some spikes on it. And a lot of people have compared it to an adult toy, which we're not going to get to in this video. But nonetheless, the Horizon Heirloom has been shown. It was met by quite a lot of mixed responses, I guess because it is quite different. But for me, I'm one of those people who don't really like a lot of the just knife sort of heirlooms. For example, maybe Bangalore. I actually do like the Horizon Heirloom. I think it's really out of the box. I'm happy that it wasn't just some knife or something which we've seen so many times before. So for me, I'm actually really digging the heirloom so far. On design, I'd probably give it around an A tier. So for now, Horizon's heirloom will be going into A tier. So up next, we've got the Ash Heirloom. That was basically the last heirloom that has been released at this stage. If you guys watched my tier list last season, you probably would know that I was not a big fan of this heirloom, and this was before it came out. And then after it came out, I wasn't much more impressed by it. The animations are okay, but a lot of them are fixed up by voice lines for Pathfinder, which I thought was very f***ing lackluster. I was not a fan of that at all. I don't think it really fits her very well, the nunchucks. That's just me. I'm sorry. This is all my opinion. So, you know, let me know in the comment section or in the chat right now if you feel differently. And, of course, I'll understand and hear your points out. Because, you know, I like these like little conversations. I don't want to just have me saying everything and then just disagreeing with all of you. But, yeah, for me, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ash Heirloom. I'm sorry, but I'm putting a D tier. It's one of my least favourite heirlooms so far. I'm not a fan of it at all. And I think they could have done a lot more better. I've already mentioned in the past that they should have given her a broadsword because that would have fit her perfectly with the Titanfall link, because her Titan in Titanfall was Ronin, and Ronin had a really awesome sword called the broadsword. I thought that would have fitted her perfectly. And even if they could have made her ultimate like that sword, if you bought the heirloom, that would have been so sick. And then they just gave her these and I was very disappointed. But guys, before we go any further in today's video, I'm super excited to announce today's sponsor, Aura. Now, Aura is a digital security company who pride themselves on all-in protection for your finances, identity, and tech. The fact is that everyone in this day and age is accessible, but people continue not to adequately protect themselves. Every year, 15 million Americans become victims to identity theft, and 33% of US citizens have experienced identity theft sometime in their lives. I mean, you could even do a Google search right now of some personal information or someone you know, and chances are you'll find out that there's a lot of information out there that you may not want other people to see. Now, this is because of data brokers who profit from selling your personal information, but with Aura, there is no need to stress, as not only will Aura identify these data brokers, but will automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. So you can just sit back, relax, and play your favorite games. But cybersecurity in this day and age as well is an absolute necessity for not only yourself, but also you need to think about your family's cybersecurity. Now, unlike some competitors in the field, Aura's pricing is absolutely awesome with an average savings of 63% on their family plan. And today Aura have a treat for everyone here, as they are offering a 14-day free trial for all you guys to try out all their amazing features that Aura has to offer. So make sure to check out my personalized link in the description and pinned comment, which is aura.com/DYLIEDOG to start your 14-day free trial today. And thanks again for Aura for sponsoring today's video, but now let's get back into it. After that we get to Bangalore. I'm not really a huge fan of the Bangalore heirloom because it's just a knife, and I know that she's a soldier and, you know, she's a very cut and dry, basically. So maybe she couldn't have something so outlandish, and I kind of get that. But for me, it's a knife. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm going to put Bangalore's in C tier. Animations are okay, I guess, but yeah, for me, I'm thinking it's not too far up than C. Next up, we get to Bloodhound's Heirloom. Now, this is a little bit hard to judge sometimes because it came out way back in Season 2, and we haven't seen an heirloom recolor for the Bloodhound Heirloom as of yet, so we can't judge like an updated version because basically, obviously, Wraith got her recolor last season and her normal heirloom got updated and it's so much better now. So it's hard to really rank Bloodhound's Heirloom at this stage. I really like the design of it, but the rest of it's pretty lackluster. Because the design, I think, is better than Bangalore's, I'm going to put it in B tier, but I can't put it any higher just because of the fact they haven't updated it yet, and The last few tier lists that I have done, I've probably put it in about A or S tier, but now I think it's to the point where they need to update this heirloom because there's only, I think, one animation the whole time. Next up, we get to Caustic's Hammer. In the past, I've been a massive Caustic main. I've got 15,000 kills on the guy. I haven't played him too much this season. I've been playing a lot of Ballistics. I think he's super cool. But Caustic's heirloom, I absolutely love. I love the hammer. I think it looks so cool in his hands. I love the animations. My favorite one's the coffee one. And I still even get surprised to this day sometimes when, I think only a season or so ago, I realized that he's got a very secret draw animation when he grabs it and there's a spider on top and it gives you a little bit of a jump scare. I did love that. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to put this one in A tier. I don't think it's perfect. I think that they could add a couple of more extra animations for it. For example, since Season 7, I believe, they've been saying that they were going to add a door smashing animation and a unique one, and they still haven't done it to this day. Yeah, I can't put it in S tier, but for me, it's definitely an A tier heirloom. Next up, we get to Crypto. Now, I know Crypto isn't very popular, but I think this is one of the best heirlooms in the game. Yes, it may only seem as just a sword, but it's got like so many cool little features, like the sword blade is retractable. I think that is so sick. It's got like this little, almost like a game on the handle. I think that's awesome. And the animations for Crypto's heirloom is super cool. I'm going to put this one S tier. I know some people may be disappointed by that, but I love Crypto's heirloom. And yeah, I think it's a top tier heirloom in the game. It's so disappointing that he's not very fun to play, because I think his heirloom is super cool. And I think a lot of his skins are pretty awesome too. After that, we get to Gibraltar's heirloom. Now, Gibraltar's heirloom probably was not seen as a very good one, to be honest. Probably because it was so small when it first came out, when we first saw it. And because he's such a big guy, everyone was expecting something basically somewhat of a size to Caustic's, because Caustic's was quite a big heirloom and he's a big guy. Gibraltar got this little war club, which I actually think looks pretty cool. I'm just a little bit disappointed the fact that it is quite small. I do think that some of the animations for Gibraltar's heirloom is really cool. As I mentioned in every single tier list video that I do, the arm shield animation where it changes depending on the skin, I think that is super unique and super cool. I'm going to put it in B tier because I think it's about middle of the range. I think there's some really good positives about it, but I think there are some negatives that really pull it down. So for me, I'm going to put it in B tier. After that, we get to Lifeline's heirloom. This one has probably been a bit of a contentious one in the past because a lot of people don't like my opinion on it, because of the fact I see a lot of big heirlooms like the hammer, the sword, Revenant scythe, you know, things to that nature. They are a weapon, and these are her sticks. I know they do have a shocking effect, but I mean, if you're going to get hit by a big hammer compared to two sticks, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit weak. I do agree that it does fit Lifeline's character. Have grown to like Lifeline's heirloom a little bit more. I do see it sometimes in game, and I do like the design of the sticks. I would have probably put it D tier a couple of seasons ago. I've kind of grown to like it a little bit more since I've seen it a little bit more in game every now and then. So I'm going to put it in C tier for now. So next up, we get to Loba's heirloom. I'm a little bit disappointed in the Loba heirloom just because it is just a white fan. I wish they put a really big design onto the fan itself instead of just leaving it white. The animations are pretty cool. I like the animation, especially with the Revenant head. I think that one's really cool. I just wish the fan design was a little bit better than just a white fan. That's just me. So I'm going to put that one in B tier for me. Next up, we get to Mirage's heirloom. I really like the design of the Mirage heirloom, but I don't think it's a melee weapon. Kind of like Lifeline sticks. It's a trophy. I think it fits Mirage so well. I do like the design of it. A couple of the animations are pretty cool as well. I'm sure everyone knows the pork chop animation by now, the super rare punching animation you can get with Mirage's heirloom. So for me, I'm going to put it in B tier as well. I'm not probably the biggest fan of Mirage's heirloom, but I do think that it does fit him quite well, and the animations are pretty cool. Next up, we get to Octane's heirloom, and has been one of my favourite heirlooms in the game in the past. I have really looked a lot more into it recently, and there's not a lot of animations that I thought it did have. And I think it does need a little bit more to be updated with it. Eventually, I'm sure they're going to be making an heirloom recolor and update it, so EA can make a little bit more money, but also so they can update the animations on it. For me, I do like the Octane heirloom quite a bit. I think it's really cool, especially when he flicks it around in his hand. I just wish there was a few more animations, to be honest. So, because it's one of my favourite heirlooms without a lot of animations, I'm going to put it in A tier, just above Bloodhounds. But yeah, I still think it's quite cool. Now we get up to Pathfinder's gloves. Now, Pathfinder's gloves are definitely 100% lore-based, and I agree that they fit in perfectly. A couple of animations are pretty cool that it has. Again, it probably needs some more because it's such an older heirloom. My one gripe with this heirloom is probably why a lot of people do like it, which is the fact that they are boxing gloves. And the reason why I say that is because most of the weapons in this game for the Legends, or in fact, every single one of them other than Pathfinders are weapons. Boxing gloves aren't a weapon. They're painted onto his hands. So for me, that's just a little gripe that I have with the heirloom. I don't think they could have changed it, but that's just me. I'm not a big fan of the Pathfinder heirloom for that reason. But because I do like the design of it, I do like the animations it does have, I'm going to put it in B tier. So next up, guys, we get to the Rampart heirloom. Now, in the past, I've not really liked the Rampart heirloom because it's basically just a wrench. But in recent times, I've looked a little bit more into it, and I do kind of like the little animations and secrets that it has. I've watched a few gaming merchant videos in the past, well, a little bit more recently, and he's obviously quite a bit of a Rampart main. I know now I think he's switched to Ballistic, but back then he was a Rampart main, and there are a few animations for it which actually are quite cool. A lot of the draw animations are, the gum that comes out of the wrench is pretty cool as well. So for me, I'm actually going to lift it up to a B tier rating. That's just me. I am just growing to like the Rampart heirloom quite a lot more. I don't know if any time in the future I'm going to lift it to any higher than B, but for now, I actually really like the design of that one. But now, guys, we get to my favourite heirloom in the game. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think it's a lot of people's favourite heirloom, which is Revenant's. S tier for me, 100%. Animations are cool, fits the character perfectly. I'll be interested to see when with the Rev Reborn update that we get in probably late this season to early season 18, how it works with like the Revenant heirloom. I'm sure they won't do much to it if they do anything to it really, but yeah, I think the Revenant Scythe is probably the best heirloom in the game in my opinion, so straight to S tier for me. Next up, we get to the Seer heirloom. Now, the Seer heirloom, I kind of don't know what to say about it. It's kind of a meh sort of heirloom for me. I don't really know about anyone saying it's their favourite heirloom in the game, to be honest. I've never heard anyone say the Seer heirloom is #1. I do like some of the animations for it though, especially the one where he starts drawing. I think that's kind of cool. A little bit sus when he starts drawing Loba, but nonetheless, we're not going to talk about that today because we've already seen some sus heirlooms with the Horizon one. But anyway, but I think it's just that middle of the range. I'm going to put it in B tier. Next, we get to Valkyrie, and I do really like the Valkyrie heirloom, the spear. I think it has some awesome animations. Probably one of the best heirlooms in the game for animations. You've got the noodles, and that's probably the best animation in the game, in my opinion. You've also got the helmet, the Viper helmet, which is absolutely sick. My one little gripe with the Valkyrie heirloom is it's very big on the screen and it covers up quite a lot of it, but I don't think that would really take away too much from it. I guess maybe in fight sometimes it gets a little bit in the way, but for me, I'm going to chuck it in A tier. Then we get to the barcode scanner, aka the Wattson heirloom. I have liked this one in the past. I think it's very unique, hence why I kind of like the Horizon heirloom a lot. I think this is to scan ghosts that I've told in previous seasons. I keep on saying it's a Nessie scanner, but I think it's actually a ghost scanner. I do kind of like the heirloom, but I don't think it's very memorable. I'm just going to chuck it in C tier. That may sound very confusing, but I thought maybe you'd grow on me a little bit more. I did like it. I did kind of like it when I first saw it. I was like, it's getting a lot of hate for something that's not that bad, but I guess compared to a lot of other heirlooms, it's just not for me, not my cup of tea. So now we finally get up to the 2 Wraith heirlooms. Look, if I'm picking on both designs, I'm probably picking the blue one just for me. I think that's pretty fair. If you don't have an heirloom as of yet, and you want to pick one, and you got heirloom shards, I'd personally like the original one. Basically, you're only picking from colour now, because they've both got the same amount of animations and stuff like that. I just don't like heirloom recolors in the game. I think it's crap that they're releasing heirloom recolors. But if I'm judging them just on the look of them, I'm going to put the Wraith Kunai, the original one, in A tier, because I do like the blue design. And the red design, I'm going to put in B tier for me. But yeah, guys, that is my Apex Legends Season 17 heirloom tier list. So right now we have in D tier the Ash heirloom. In C tier we have the Bangalore, Lifeline, and Wattson heirloom. In B tier we have the Bloodhound, Gibraltar, Loba, Mirage, Rampart, Pathfinder, Seer, and the recolored version of the Wraith Kunai. In A tier we have the Caustic, Octane, Valkyrie, and the original Kunai. And in S tier, my favourite heirlooms in the game are Cryptos and Revenant. Now, as always, guys, I just have to give a massive shout out to my channel members, and if you guys would like early access to videos and a daily shout out, then click the link below.